to explain, someone's got to explain to
Yeah.
the reader that, you wrote this, when you were in your 20s. And then why was it never published? So he would write, he wrote an introduction, for that. And then the same thing with the one he wrote when he was, 12. I said, people are not going to, know that he wrote this that
Right.
young, and then you didn't try to get it published, you stuck it in a drawer. So on the material that had never been published before, that we were publishing for the first time, he wrote, introductions, for. He also wrote, I think one of his first introductions, I asked both he and Bradbury if they would write an intro and an afterword for Bob Bloch's Psycho. Both of them had a blurb at some point. And so I'm looking at all these different blurbs on books, and I see both Matheson and Bradbury, and I hadn't really worked with them, yet. And I, approached them, and Bradbury, said, yes, right away. He was, for both of them were very fond of Bob Bloch. And Matheson said, well, I've never written an introduction before, but if you want me to, I'll give it a go. And I, my feeling was anything
Please.
Richard Matheson wrote would be good.
Right.
What happened is that they both wrote wonderful pieces. They talked as much about the man, Bob Bloch, as they did the author. And I sent Bob Bloch the galleys for the novel, and that was the first time he read the introduction and the afterward. And he called me up and he said, well, you've just made, one of the worst days of my life the best days in my life. I found out today I've got terminal cancer, and I'm not going to have radiation or chemo. I'm just going to live as long as I can. And then I got home and I got this manuscript, and I read what Richard said, I read what Ray said, and it was just so wonderful. And both of them could have, it was almost like they had collaborated together, because they both said almost the same thing in their own unique styles. They talked about Bob Bloch the man, Bob Bloch the author, and then I asked both of them later on, a couple of months later, can I do a signed limited of, and we did illustrated man for Bradbury. It was either that or the October Country was first, I forget which one. And then we did I Am Legend, was our first Matheson.